Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next review for Anime Month. And I've already talked about this series though, but I didn't give this a full on anime review. But since I talked about last year, I reviewed the whole series, the whole episode series of it. So, but as like I said, I just don't want to. I want to give this a full anime review. So, but I'll be talking about once again about anime that I enjoyed last year. I thought it was a really great series, and it was one of my favorites that I enjoyed I enjoyed from last year. And that is of the Great Jahy Will Not Be Defeated. Now you can go back on my playlist. I reviewed all the episodes when it came out of the Great Jahy Will Not Be Defeated, and each episode I reviewed all the episodes. You can go back on my playlist on that, and I love the series. As I was watching, I enjoyed the series. So I won't be talking about all it fully though, because as I already talked about all the episodes and how our lead character has gone through and growth and all that stuff. So, but although this won't be a long review of it though, but I still give this a really good thumbs up. I've enjoyed, really is. But simply put, if anyone who has not seen to anyone who has not seen the Great Jahy Will Not Be Defeated, it follows is that Jahy, she's a demon in the dark world, or the dark realm, and she's the great demon's second in command basically, and she is the rule. All of her followers or whatever, they praise her. She's been which you have the narrator too talking as well, saying that she's strong, powerful, beauty, and all that, and respected by her peers. Even though someone defies her, she'll destroy you though, right? And but until one day when this magical girl appears, and then comes in, takes out the giant manga crystal. That's what gives her powers, right? She shatters it, and then Druji ends up into the human world. And since her powers have been stripped, though, she now her whole entire body, basically, when she comes to the human world, she's almost pretty much powerless, though. But even though she still has some power with the one piece of manga crystal she had, though, but when she came to the human world, her body is now in the form of a child now. So she basically most times she lives like as a child, a little girl, since her powers have been limited. But she uses a little bit of her powers, to get her to do her job, right? Which one thing I found interesting about is that she has to live, she lives basically in a crappy apartment, right? And she has basically almost no money, though, but she has to work, though, right? Which kind of finds, what things I found intriguing about, it was pulled similarities to a devil's a part-timer. Has to work a part-time job, trying to earn money, and find a way to get back to her demon world, right? Kind of similar to, Sadao Mao, working part-time, trying to fight to get back, to Anti-Isla and all that, right? So it had some similarities to a Devil's a Part-Timer, what part made me intrigued to watch this show. And so she used her power to make herself as her real self again to work, and she works at this bar, and her boss, which she was never given no name. She was just boss, right? And which she really likes Jahy, which she calls her Hai-chen. And she really enjoys her work. She works hard. Until one part in the first episode when she loses her powers in the middle of work, and she sees her like that, I am Jahy, right? But her boss didn't really care about who she was, so she just found her adorable. She kind of felt sorry. That's why she gave her a little bit of a raise, to help, for rent, right? And then, of course, we introduced to the boss's younger sister, who is Jahy's landlord of that building, always constantly fighting with her. Pay your rent, pay your rent. Which I enjoy these characters. They were such lively, fun, charming characters. Which throughout those series, you do get some wholesome moments with them, with their interactions with Jahy, and it was really sweet, charming moments with them. But they were such likable characters, and throughout the whole series, like I said, with Drew, we had in the Dark Realm, Jahy had her right hand person by the name of Druji, which she constantly abused, constantly in the Dark Realm, always insulting her, disowning her a lot, oh, you're an incompetent person, you're an idiot, But the thing is, though, Druji liked that. She liked being insulted and taking the punishment from Jahy. Like in the Dark Realm, you're a stool. Let me sit on you, because you're a stool. I was like, oh, I'll be glad to do that. Kind of like that, right? And like when she made her dig up this giant hole, right? And she says, now fill it back up now. So she liked that abuse. She liked being abused by Jahy. Because she loved her so much, worships her so much, that's why she enjoyed being abused by her. And then she's in the human world too, and all of a sudden she's a rich person. She owns her own company. She's a president of her own company, and she's been constantly gathering up all the manga crystals, which left and right, like she showed, she had a big truck full of manga crystals, and while Jahy, has been desperately trying to find even a single piece, right? She doesn't want to tell Druji how far, because a person that Druji admires so much, she doesn't want to see how her great leader has fallen, right, from being a high-end, powerful demon of the second command of the Dark Realm to this now living as a low life basically in a trash apartment with no money, right? So she didn't tell her that because he didn't want her to be disappointed in her. Even though Spider, she's been just definitely trying to find one piece of manga crystal. And while it's going on, you have another demon from the Dark Realm by the name of Sawa, which she's constantly so clumsy. She makes all these attempts to defeat Jahy, though, but all her plans keep on failing. Like, for instance, she makes a potion, to make her into a dog, but when she was going for her tea, she actually drinks it herself, and she ends up becoming a dog, and times she's acting like a dog. Or when she tried disguising herself as Jahy, she gets berated by the landlord who thinks that's really her, like, where's your rent? Or when she goes to work at her job as Jahy, she does a really good job at it. I mean, she's trying to best to drag her name in the mud, though, but she ends up making her name, Jahy's name, great. And she was also just a likable character too, And then all that, then Jahy befriends this elementary school girl by the name of Kokoro, who wants to help, who she basically befriends with, basically like a real friend that she never had, a real friend, been so kind to her and all that, and then also when Jahy also comes across the magic girl who basically ruined her life, basically. Which her name is Kyugo, I think. And she has the power to become that magic girl. But the thing is, though, she has all this bad luck happens to her, but she endures it because she doesn't want anybody to suffer that misfortune who gets their hands on the manga crystal. That's why she's after it. And basically throughout this whole series, Jahy, we see her growth from becoming such a vicious leader in the Dark Realm, becoming more human each time by the day, becoming more nicer, more kinder throughout this whole series, right? And I really enjoyed how this growth of this character has been, how her character has been grown throughout this whole series. And she tells us, why am I being so nice and all this stuff, Well, because she spends all this time in the human world and interacting especially with Kokoro and with her boss, a landlady, and all that. She's becoming much more human, more than demon, basically. She was a ruthless leader in the dark realm, but living among these humans, especially with all the friends that she's made, she's grown to like basically like the humans, becoming more human, right? And I really enjoyed that. As an anime, I enjoyed for a character who's grown so much through this whole series, becoming more human by the day, right? Even to the point where Druji was showing a little bit concerned that her ruler was turning different, going soft, right? Because there was a point where she sees her in her little girl form, like wanting to sit next to her, and Jahy's like, "You can come sit next to me. You can take a break, right?" And that kind of surprised her, like she's not the same person that she used to be. She was being concerned all that, and Jahy doesn't want to disappoint her, so she keeps on putting on that old face, right? Like, oh, you're still an idiot, right? Just to get her to like her still. So, and you have that. So you have that too. So, and Drew, you have to mention, she can be just as powerful because there's things which, especially the interactions with the magical girl, right? Like, she gives that scary look on her face with that aura oozing out of her, showing that she can be just a powerful demon too, And then it comes up to the finale. When it comes to the finale, when the Demon King or the Dark Lord is there in the human world too, all she does is basically eat and eat. Though, basically, she didn't care about the Dark Realm at all. And then until the end, there was this mysterious bright light entity coming in, and it turns out that's the Dark Lord's sister. They're like this. You can't say they're kind of like twins. Because they basically look the same, right? And basically, the whole thing why Jahy ended up in this human world because it was the whole thing was a big misunderstanding between the two sisters. Like the two sisters disagreed on something, and that's why the older sister, the Dark Lord, left to rule the Dark Realm, right? Her own thing, and the younger sister was wanting to bring her sister back, wanted her sister to like her. So that's why she hired that magical girl, gave her the power of that magic. She gave Kokyo the power of the magical girl to bring her sister back, but things went haywire, and it ended up breaking the manga crystal instead. Because basically all the people that she gave the powers to, they're all just a bunch of idiots. Like she gave to Sawa, even the boss. So, I mean, so everyone was a misunderstanding. That's what, and Jahy was like angry. All this time, I've been living this new world like this, all because of a sister argument, basically. And now it ends, they're watching like the fireworks and all that stuff, and then basically they all stand there watching, and Jahy's like, did I forget about something? And then she had that shirt that she always wears, restore the Dark Realm, right? So yeah, because she forgot all about it, because she's been living much in the human world so much, she basically likes it here now. Same thing with Sadao Mao, right? He's living the human world, he's been liking it here, he doesn't want to go back into Isla. So, yeah, that's one thing I liked about it, was kind of like some similarities to Devil's a Part-Timer, which I'm looking forward to the second season too, so. But yeah, so great Jahy, like I said, all the stuff I explained. You can just go back on my channel, the playlist of me reviewing all the episodes from the show, and I explain all this stuff, right? But how, like I said, Jahy's growth as a character, and all the other characters, all the likable characters, like the boss, the landlord, Kokoro, the little girl that she befriends with, and also say that like she can choose to live here in the human world. Like she can be an adult, acting with at her job, doing her job, and with the landlord and boss, whatever. And also sometimes she can now have a childhood, living her other part of herself, living as a little girl. She can have a childhood interacting with Kokoro, the little girl she can have, the real friend basically she befriends too, right? So yeah, it basically ends all like very happy and basically for Jahy. So yeah, so I enjoyed this series a lot. I love this show. I don't hardly find any flaws in this series at all. Especially the animation I thought was really well done. The other things I enjoyed about it. So the animation was great. The music was really well done too. The voice cast of our characters, they all did their parts excellently. Especially as person who did Jahy, she was great. And all the other voice casters, and I enjoyed all the characters, and yeah. But I found hardly any flaws in this series. So yeah. So I give this a full anime review on this show that I enjoyed. I love Great Jahy, and I already got the poster. I already showed you when I did my poster update. I have it hanging right there, so because I really enjoyed the series. Jahy was such a great character, from going from evil demon to basically a kind, acting like a human, becoming human, acting more kinder and all that stuff. So yeah, it was a really great series. And let's say if there was no second season, I'm perfectly fine how the way it ended, because they haven't announced another season since then. So if it ends like this, but I'm perfectly fine with it, and I'll definitely glad to pick this up on Blu-ray and DVD when it comes out as well. Yeah, so that's my review for the Great Jahy Will Not Be Defeated, a full anime review of the series. I really enjoyed it. Really a 10 out of 10 series for me. Definitely, because all the animes I've been watching as of recently, like last year and this, I've been enjoying. Animes has been really good for me as of lately. Especially this year with Spy Family, Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie, My Dress Up Darling, The Genius Princess Guide to Raise a Nation Out of Debt, and of course of Yashahime as well. So okay, I can't forget that because I love Yashahime. So from even last year, Zombieland Saga Revenge and among others. So yeah, but this show I love. I love The Great Jahy Will Not Be Defeated. Definitely a thumbs up for this show. But anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next review for Anime Month, and we'll see y'all later.